You know, the fall 2024 season of anime is maybe the most confused that I've ever seen Japan about how to treat their female characters. On one hand, you've got DanDaDan, which presents one of the best and least annoying allegories I've seen in any modern anime, where sexuality becomes an antagonistic force to Momo and to the rest of the main characters, which some people clearly missed because I keep seeing these gravure images of Momo pop up on the internet, and it's just like, God, you clearly don't respect the source material. Literally, only villains do that. But then you've got Loner Life in Another World, where the female characters are practically just set dressing. They have no personality and they don't matter. But then you have I'll Become a Villainess who goes down in history, which I covered a few weeks ago talking about how great it was. There's basically no fan service there, and it's really genuinely a female empowerment anime, and it's good. But then you've got Let This Grieving Soul Retire, which is basically an anime about one girl's ass. The angles go against the laws of nature, and it was also good. And now we have this. You know, it says it's a shoujo, but I don't think women are gonna like this. Hey, wait a minute. Hello, and welcome back to Binging Last Season, where this week Japan is really testing the limits of how much I'm willing to sweep for their moral degeneracy. The anime we're talking about today is The Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor, and it's kind of, yeah, that's about right. Alright, so hear me out. Like most shoujo anime, you've heard this premise before. There's a princess by marriage in this case. She's betrayed by her husband. He tries to have her executed, and in her last moments she says, I wish I could have done things a little bit differently. And then she's transported back 6 years in the past. She has a chance to redo her life where she meets people from her past timeline that she wasn't able to do right by. There's a lot of cool action scenes, some fighting. It's set in a fantasy, sort of medieval time. It sounds like a good time, right? You see, the problem is that I left two things out of that description. Two very important things. The first is that when she's in her original timeline, the reason that she's sentenced to death to execution is because she finds out that the crown prince, her husband, is carrying on an incestuous relationship with his little sister. And the second thing that I forgot to mention is that our main character is 16 at the start, in the intro of the anime, before she goes back in time. And then she goes back 6 years and becomes 10. Now, that wouldn't be an issue, all things considered, but her amazing plan to get out of her marriage to the future king is to propose marriage to somebody else and say, you know, I'll take responsibility, I'll make this person happy because they're going to be my scapegoat and make sure that I don't get killed for finding out that my husband wants to fuck his sister. And the person that she proposes to is the main bad guy from the prior timeline, like the main bad guy that sort of invades their nation. And currently, in this timeline, he's 19. And if you do the math on that, it adds up to a pretty fucking weird premise, but it's fine. You know, they can move past something weird like that. They'll say, oh, you know, it's just like the olden days and like people got married at young ages, and surely they're not going to be weird about it at the very least. Oh no. No, he's super into it. In fact, he specifies that he would have preferred her a little bit younger, which made my skin fucking crawl because, oh my god, like I thought for sure they were just going to try to move past this and pretend that it wasn't actually happening so we could, you know, do the rest of the anime, because the rest of the anime is probably the important part. Now, the important part is that, you know, she's 10 and he's fucking like, yeah, I can't believe you actually like me. Imagine. Imagine looking at I can't even say that. God, I hate this. Spoiler warning. Here's your spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. They do try to explain this at some point. They try to say, hey, look, there's a curse that affects people over a certain age. That's why he was looking for somebody young. But they also really play into it. Like, they don't stop playing into it. They don't just say like, oh, I never would have loved you, you know, as an actual person. I'm choosing somebody young because of this curse. But that's not what they do, because he's clearly super into her and doesn't stop being super into her after he explains the curse. And in fact, at multiple points during the rest of the series, like actually, like they fucking kiss, dude. Like not explicitly on screen because you're not supposed to show illegal stuff in Japan. And so they don't, but like they fucking do. Like it's very obvious and weird, and it just gave me such fucking Lolita vibes, dude. Like it felt like they were trying to justify this relationship on screen very often, because at some point she does come to like him. But God, like even at the start, she's just like, sure is weird that he likes somebody that's 10, but then she's like falling for him anyway. And he's just like, oh my God, you're so beautiful and nice. And I can't believe that like you chose me to be your husband. It's like, oh God. Straight up, I can't defend that. The show glorifies their relationship and it does not stop doing so from start to finish. And it's just disgusting. I really wish I could sit here and say, God, this is fucking filth. There's nothing redeeming about it. It is a terrible anime. Don't watch it. I wish I could say that.
You were the chosen one!
Huh?
It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them!
Uh-huh.
Hey, look, I spent 3 whole minutes disavowing the premise, okay? Let me cook. I hate to say it, but if you can get past the choose your fate situation for the main character, where she has to choose between the incestuous prince and the pedophile, God, what a sentence! You know, between that and the resulting Stockholm Syndrome vibes when she ends up with the pedophile, there's a lot of shit to get through here. But if you can get through it, this is actually one of the better shoujo anime I've seen, I think. I mean, it's pretty good. God, I hate this. The dragons aren't even CGI. That's like a first for shoujo anime. There's no bad CGI dragon. There's a dragon and it looks good. It might be CGI. I don't know, to be honest. I can't identify between good CGI and 2D animation. I don't know, dude. I'm not paying attention. I don't know things. You're not here to see me note, to hear me note, to... Well, you can't see me.
And his name is John C.
The ways in which our main character handles situations utilizing knowledge from her past life works. I mean, that part of the premise is good, and the story is told pretty well. The ways that she interacts with people that used to be in her unit in a past life, you know, the way she sort of despairs over the fact that they were initially lost, and now she's happy to have them back. These are all nice little touches. It's a good anime. But I would be lying if I said that the vibe that was set because of the premise did not directly affect the way that I experienced the story at times in the anime. I'm not going to explain that exactly because I don't really want to spoil everything about it. I think it's watchable, but... Well, it's watchable if you can fucking just trudge through the fucking river of shit that you have to get through to find this even remotely acceptable to view. If you just have to, you gotta swim through it. Use your pectorals! Anyway, I gave it a 7. It's a 7 because it does a lot of things good, but also fails at certain things that it tries to do. It failed at being a romance because I'm not a pedophile. The action scenes are really strong in this anime. I would say stronger than almost any other shoujo anime that I've watched, and that's probably to make up for the fact that the main character is a pedophile. The duo for Damsel is just a solid and well-rounded anime. The lows are around a middling area in terms of the story and the events and what happens and how it looks, and the highs are relatively high. I mean, it's really solid. And that's just a shame, because the main character is a